Hey, how's it going? My name is Angelica Caceres. I'm here on the Juan blog podcast on my own, solita. I'm on here because I told Juan at some point during this podcast, what I want to do is read. Okay, for those who don't know, we started off as bloggers 10 plus years ago. Well, he started first, and then I kind of followed. I didn't want to be left behind, basically. And so he has been blogging for 10 years. And I have to say that when I met my husband, he was actually a journalist. I got to reading some of his articles in print, but I really didn't get to understand his writing until I started to see his writing in the blog post. I absolutely love the way my husband writes. He gets very creative. He gets very expressive with his words, and I can't get enough of them. I find myself sometimes going back to some of those blog posts and excuse me, and rereading them because they're just that good. Hold on just a second. Ay Dios, que tengo. Okay, so I feel like we wouldn't do this podcast any justice if some of these blog posts weren't read out loud. So here I am. This is Juan's words read by his wife. I don't know. I just want you to enjoy them as much as I've enjoyed them. Maybe you don't have the opportunity to go back and read them, and maybe you can just hear it via somebody's voice, and why not his wife, right? So, I'm just going to go through some of the blog posts that I have found that I go back and read, and where I feel like he has expressed himself in a way that I like. I'm just going to go back and read some of the blog posts that I love myself. So, with that being said, I'm going to begin. Okay, here's the entry. 8 years ago and 1,000 blog posts later. Yes, he's been writing 10 years, over 1,000 blog posts. Jesus heavens. Juan, you, homie can write. All right, so here we go. And I read. 8 years, 10,000 plus blog posts later, and still writing my sanity. You think after 8 years of jotting down my thoughts and purging my emotions to the World Wide Web, I would be done. I wouldn't have anything else to say. I would have said it all. Well, as it turns out, that's not the case. I've actually still have plenty more to say. Although some days it's easier to think I want to say rather than type it out and actually hit the publish button that makes a new blog post oh so official. Of course, you can always hit unpublish too, as I've learned over the course of the last 8 years. Some blog posts still make me laugh or cry. Some of them just make me cringe. All of them, though, are part of me. They represent me, or one version of me, when I wrote them between the ages of, I guess, 29 and 38. So much has changed in between. I have changed so much in between, but every single word was true when I wrote it, or as close to true as my memory would allow. My family and friends have been quick to point out a couple of times the things that were exactly as I remember them. But this, after all, is my recollection of things past and present. I'm okay with my memories being a little fuzzy here and there. I like to remember the best parts as much as possible. And so, well, after more than 2,920 days of calling myself a blogger, what's my advice? Create. Just create. Create whatever you feel inside of you wanting to come out. It doesn't matter how you do it or what platform you use. If you're not a writer, that's okay. If you're not the best photographer, that's okay too. And don't think for 1 second that the point of all of this is to get super rich and famous. It really is not. I'm not telling you to not make money. Just don't lose sight of why you wanted to create something, anything to begin with. Believe me, it's very easy to get lost in the shuffle. So here are a few things I've learned along the way. 1. Time waits for no one. If you sit around thinking about it or debating the pros and cons of the choice in front of you, chances are you're never going to make a decision. Instead, Hit your ideas while the iron is still hot. If you mess up, it won't end the world. Learn from the experience, move forward. I like jotting my ideas down as much as possible. Oh, whoops, excuse me. I like jotting my ideas down as soon as they come to me when I won't forget them, so I won't forget them. Number 2, sometimes the easiest thing is the most honest. I am the king at overthinking things. No matter what it is, there's usually a push and pull taking place in my mind. I used to think it was critical thinking, that I was being logical. But when it comes to creating, sometimes it's just so much more cathartic and helpful to just go with the flow and to let things pour out of you the way they're meant to. You can always come back and edit them later. Some of my most successful blogs I just wrote and published in a mad dash of self-expression in less than 30 minutes. Number 3, haters gonna hate. I can't believe I just typed that. But yeah, basically, whether it's people who come across your blog and hate your words and decide to let you know they hate your words, or whether it's someone who has decided they have a personal vendetta against you, just want to tarnish your reputation because they feel wronged by you in some way, the truth is not everyone is going to like you. Repeat these words after me. That is okay. You don't have to engage. Take the higher road. It's not worth chasing anyone or anything down a rabbit hole. Number 4, make bold moves often. I'm still working on this myself because I like to overthink things. I usually find myself being very comfortable with just being comfortable. There's much less stress in knowing the unknowns and being able to calculate the outcome of your actions. Unfortunately, that's not always taking chances and really going after the milestones you want to achieve. In a lot of ways, you just have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. It helps if you have someone who will do the pushing for you. Number 5, you owe it to yourself to be your best champion, not your best critic. Someone said this over lunch the other day. The world is going to shatter her dreams for her. Why should I be the one to shatter her dreams before then? It was said in passing or much more as a joke, but I think it definitely makes sense when you're a creator. Don't judge yourself based on successes or failures of others. Stand behind what you're doing with all your might, even if nobody else is standing with you. I can tell you the number of times I've talked myself down from celebrating or appreciating something I was proud of achieving. You really are the only one who could define success or failures, what failure looks like in your own life. That's it. That's all I got for you. Other than that, just go out there. Put yourself out there and see what happens. All right. I hope you liked that job entry. Jesus. I hope you liked that blog entry. Like I said, my husband has an amazing written word. And I hope you enjoy this because I'm going to keep reading them. I'll be back and read some more. Bueno.